Welcome to the place where we learn about and learn from the leaders in our field who are powering human creativity. I am Aaron Dworkin, and this is Arts Engines. Thanks again for joining me here on Arts Engines. Today's guest is Bryant Welters, who is a director of the Vincent Wilkinson Foundation. Bryant, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Well, so this is so great. I'm so excited to be able to talk with you. And obviously, the philanthropy that you're involved in is just, leadership in our field, in our disciplines. So I'm really excited to talk about that. So I thought maybe it'd be best to just start off with, for our audience, if you could just kind of share who the Vincent Wilkinson Foundation is and kind of the overall focus and priorities for the foundation.
Absolutely. Well, again, thank you for the time today. It's a welcome opportunity to talk about the Vincent Wilkinson Foundation. It was started by my parents, Anthony and Beatrice Welters, who came from very adverse backgrounds. My mother grew up in foster care, and my father grew up in a very impoverished household, and they both gone on to be extremely successful in their own respective fields. And I guess one of the tenets of our family and values for the family is that altruism and empathy, to truly give back to others that do not have the same opportunities or same experiences that myself and my brother have had from the wonderful life that we've been able to lead. And with those values, my parents started two foundations, which is the Anne Bryce Foundation, and the one we're speaking about today is the Vincent Wilkinson Foundation, which is named after my mother's father. And she wanted to start that and name it in his name because he was maybe not a lover of classical music, but a lover of music and culture. And he's from New York and loved to take my mother and her older brother, to different acts around town when they could. And my mother has always been infatuated and loves the arts and music. And she's played piano for a number of years. She sang in choirs for a number of years as well. So she wanted to bring not only the kind of learnings and best practices to environments and people and communities that don't have those opportunities, especially when it comes to classical music, which can be a very singular, homogenous atmosphere, and bringing all of the best in class in individuals to help these individuals to continue their expertise, to go into conservatories, as well as further from that into their careers in music. So we provide scholarships, full tuition, as well as room and board to the Aspen Music School and Festival for their continued learning during the summers to continue onward with their careers.
Which this is just so fascinating, and obviously it's such a critically important area. And especially kind of, providing that ability to take the talent that is emerging and be able to attend, right, these key institutions. And Aspen's obviously one of them, is one of our great creative partners, helped us to co-curate this show. It is just an extraordinary place. I've obviously been able to spend time there and see the impact on so many young people. And I think that kind of also goes to this sense about the commitment as it relates to diversity, right? That those who are achieving the highest levels of excellence in our field of the arts reflect and represent all of our communities. And is there kind of a sense on the part of the foundation, and as you look at this work, kind of seeing that diversity and inclusion piece and how that ties to the arts field?
100%. And like I mentioned, not to take away from the successes of the individuals that are already have done well in the classical arts and who teach and give back to the classical arts for the next generation, but it is, from what we see, in a very homogenous group. And we are trying to do our best to bring in individuals that are diverse, not only in race and culture and sex, but also in socioeconomics. There are a number of individuals that we've seen and met over the years that have had opportunities through your groups, with Sphinx, obviously with Vincent Wilkinson, that outside of our recruitment, your recruitment, Aspen School of Music Festival, they would not be found and would not have the tools and opportunities to interact with other like-minded individuals as well as professors and conservatorships to continue their success, if you will. So we really do focus on individuals that are, for lack of a better word, overlooked or not seen at all.
It is so critically important, and just awesome work. And I think really helps to set a standard too, right? So when we think about other institutions, and the reality is they often need this philanthropic support to be able to fully have the breadth of work and programming that they want, to be able to provide the opportunities to as many, especially young people. And that's one of the things that we found is that, the reality is resources matter. And to be able to do a lot of really important work, you need partners, and including those philanthropic partners. So it's extraordinary work that you're doing, and the type of partnership that you've built with Aspen, I think also is really key, and one that a lot of other institutions can look to in terms of building with their foundation partners. So in addition, kind of switching gears a little bit, one of our big focuses for the show is this overall, right, leadership and leadership approaches. And I was just kind of curious, as you think about this work and coming at it from a foundation perspective, is there any kind of aspects that you look to in terms of just overall leadership? So in other words, when you're looking to say, should we support this particular project? Should we support this particular institution? Are there, maybe 2 or 3 things or core areas of criteria that stand out the most to you to say, you know what, if they're demonstrating this, if they have this as part of the work that they're doing, that really puts them at the forefront of our consideration? Is there things like that? Because I'm sure there's many in our audience who are curious.
Absolutely. Well, I get to lean on 2 incredible individuals in my mother and father through their successes. But I think the way we go about our processes in starting organizations or partnering with organizations is finding people that know the environment. We are not classical or even musicians in general. I did mention my mother plays the piano and plays it very well. But that is not a world that we operate in through our day-to-day lives. We enjoy the arts. We go see many different plays. That small anecdote is that every year from when I was probably in diapers and still to this day, we go see either the Nutcracker or Handel's Messiah every year. So we enjoy the arts to every degree. But in terms of leadership, we really do look for best of breed and individuals that can lead or have operated in the spaces that we're looking into. And what we bring to the table is, I'd say, a more business kind of management understanding of how to run a philanthropic organization, because I believe there's certain qualities that come from working in a boardroom, especially when it comes to not-for-profit work. The capital that comes in needs to be used diligently. The last thing I'd say is conviction. Go with your heart, go with what you know. And that has done pretty well for us down the line. And we found some incredible individuals that have been a part of our programs. And we've also seen them come back in some way, shape, or form, whether it's even teaching or just being a resource for the younger cohort that is coming through the ranks.
Absolutely. No, that's really important. And I love that kind of aspect of conviction. And having that in terms of behind the work that you do, really important. But one other aspect, right? So as you do this work and you're delving into, of course, building different partnerships, identifying opportunities, and probably sometimes maybe needing to, want to provide some, active advice in terms of how things might be being run or managed, because things are sometimes different in the nonprofit field versus for-profit. There's got to be some tough days or challenging days when you're balancing all of the various things on your plate. And just wondering, as a leader, where do you look to for inspiration, for the strength to kind of overcome various challenges when sometimes they might even seem insurmountable?
Well, we're still going through COVID, so it's a daily thought process. No, I said someone in jest, but I would say that a lot of, at least what I take away and kind of bring to the table, is I look at the scholars that we've already interacted with, who've already come through the program. They've already had impressive careers up to this point, but for one or two things, whether it's capital, whether it's actually being found and sourced to be put in a place to be successful, they would be, first chair in whatever orchestra around the world. And some, if not all, are coming from very adverse backgrounds and have been able to be successful. And to the point earlier, they've been overlooked or haven't even been seen in any way, shape, or form because of where they come from is not a source of talent, or what people perceive to be a source of talent. So really it's I can take a second and look at a list of individuals that don't have the means or have not had the means, but have continued to be successful. And I then see the successes that come after we step in as a family and assist them in some way, shape, or form. And I can look to that every day and say, I can keep going. I can bring a little bit more today, and I can bring a little bit more tomorrow, because I'm doing something that would put someone in a place that they wouldn't otherwise get to.
I love that. And I think it's such a critical role to be able to play and literally make that difference in transforming someone who has the talent, who has the work ethic, who has all of the components, but may just lack that access or the particular resources at a particular point in time. And especially in our field, right, there are just those times, whether it's tuition issues, whether it's instrumental issues or various lessons or those types of things, all too often access to be able to make that final step across the bridge to building a professional career are sometimes seem like they're too far away. And this work that you are doing is absolutely making that difference. Thank you so much for taking this time. Bryant Welters, you truly are one of the arts engines who is powering human creativity in our world. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. You have a good rest of your day.